Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be another movie review for you guys. And this movie, I wasn't planning on getting this. I wasn't planning on it. But this weekend, if you guys remember, I was slacking off on my Nick review. And the reason why my Nick review took so long to come out was because my dad had his college reunion this week, at West Point. Yeah, because he works in the military, so he's in West Point and everything. So, basically with him working at West Point and everything, we went down there. We went to the PX basically, and the PX there is like really big, and they actually have Blu-rays there. They have Blu-rays there, and I found this movie there, and I decided that, and I was really happy that I saw it because I decided I would end up getting it, and that movie is Neighbors. Neighbors was a movie that I personally really wanted to see, but I didn't really know how this movie was going to be. Now, I knew that this movie was... The main reason I want to see it was because this was the movie after This Is the End, which, that movie is just... Oh my god, that movie is just so, so funny. And I really hoped Neighbors was as funny. Sorry guys, let me just plug my computer into my charger so it doesn't die in the middle of this review, because that would not be good. But... Neighbors was a movie that, I really want to see because of that. And overall, after seeing Neighbors, what did I think of Neighbors? Neighbors was hilarious. I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a really fun summer movie. And I don't understand what all the hate is. A lot of people are giving this movie a lot of hate. Now, don't get me wrong, it is not as funny as This Is the End. It's not. Okay, it's not supposed to be. It's not as funny as This Is the End, in my opinion. I think This Is the End is way funnier. However, this movie did what a good summer movie should do. It was really funny, and it actually has a lot of heart to it, which we'll talk about as well. But Neighbors, I thought, as I said, it was a really good movie. And let's just get to what this movie's about. Basically, this movie's about this couple, Mac and Kelly. Mac and Kelly, they're new parents, but they are trying to still have some fun and have a good relationship, but they really are not fun anymore. They're the kind of people you see that they think they're a lot of fun, but they're really not a lot of fun anymore. They have this baby. There was a scene in the beginning where they're trying to have sex, and they can't start having sex in front of the baby, and they just sort of want to have a lot of fun. His, Mac's best friend keeps complaining to him that he's not having a lot of fun and everything, and that he's kind of lame, and that they're lame parents. Well, eventually this, basically, they get these new neighbors called the Delta Psi Beta, which is a big college fraternity that is infamous for very loud parties, which they don't realize till after they arrive. And everyone's like, oh no, you're going to be worried, they have really bad parties and everything. And so basically, they think of this as an opportunity because they're college kids. They think this is an opportunity for them to sort of get their mojo back and sort of have, more fun and things like that. That's what they sort of think that this would be, a better chance for them to have more fun and be better and be fun again. And they go over to this party and everything, but they can't keep the noise down. Delta Psi Beta cannot keep the noise down. So they go to a party, they have fun and everything, but then the leader of that party, Teddy, gives them this promise. He says, look, if you make this promise to me that you, call me, not the cops, because he doesn't want he doesn't want to get in trouble, and at first, they aren't going to do that, but they're not listening to them, so basically, Kelly tells Mac that, oh, we need to call the cops, so they call the cops and everything, and then Delta Psi, it is all-out revenge on them, and basically, from here on out, it's a way to get them to leave. So Mac and Kelly find out that they have this thing called 3 Strikes, the 3 Strike campaign, and they want to get them out with those 3 strikes. They try to take advantage of those 3 strikes to get them to basically leave, and that's basically the plot of Neighbors. That was a very long plot, but, Neighbors is one of those movies that takes a little while to get going, but, that's what I really like about this movie. So let's just get into this movie. Let's first talk about the acting in this movie. Everyone in this movie who was in it, really funny. There was not one person I thought that was bad. There was not one person I thought was badly casted. I thought everyone was really funny. By the way, guys, I wish I would have seen this in theaters. I really did. I wish I would have seen it because if I would have seen it in theaters, I think I would have had a great time with it. At least I saw 22 Jump Street in theaters. That's what matters. 22 Jump Street, I saw that in theaters. But I wish I would have seen this in theaters because this was just as funny. Was it as funny as 22 Jump Street? I don't know. Probably the second funniest movie of the year. But I still really enjoyed it a lot. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, he does his usual Seth Rogen thing. This was probably the funniest performance I've seen from him. I thought he was funnier in this than he was in This Is the End, personally. This Is the End, he was great, but he was not the funniest in This Is the End by any means. I thought he was really funny in this. He did a great job, He just does his usual Seth Rogen thing, but I thought he did a great job, definitely. The best part of this movie, though, in my opinion, the funniest part was Zac Efron. Zac Efron, this is an actor I've been following for years. He's done things like High School Musical, Hairspray. I personally have loved him. I know a lot of people haven't loved him, but you guys know musicals are my forte. That's just what I do. So, with him being in that, I was fine with that. But this is the first movie, because everything after that he did was a piece of shit. Lucky One, Charlie St. Cloud, just piece of shit. Terrible movies. This was really the first movie he did where I actually appreciate him as an actor. I really liked his character. He's this very cocky college guy who thinks he's, is a know-it-all. He sort of is the president of the fraternity. Well, he wants to be at least. And I thought his character was definitely very interesting with that. I liked his character a lot. There's one interesting thing about his character that I don't want to spoil till we get to the spoilers that I thought was kind of interesting about his character. So I definitely want to talk about that. But he definitely was the funniest, in my opinion. However, just as funny, and I did not expect to be as funny as she was Rose Byrne. Wow, this is by far Rose Byrne's best performance. I've only seen her in this and Insidious. That's all. I have not seen Bridesmaids. Okay, I'm one of the few who haven't seen it. Don't be mad at me. I haven't seen Bridesmaids. But I thought she was hilarious in this scene. There's this one scene that I don't want to give it away, but I'll say this. You'll never look at a girl's tits the same way again. I'll say that because that one scene just, oh my god, that had me dying laughing at Rose Byrne. She was so funny in the movie. The ways that she kind of comes up with the plans on how to get them to leave. I mean, she just came up with such funny plans, and she was just so funny in the movie. I thought she was great. Lisa Kudrow has a great supporting role, and the only person I think I'll talk about is Dave Franco. Dave Franco is that kid from 21 Jump Street, the main villain in 21, well, he turns out to be at least. The supplier of the drugs in 21 Jump Street. Ooh, I just gave away the twist. Oh no! Sorry guys, I just gave away the twist of 21 Jump Street. But he was great in the movie as well. I liked the friendship between him and Teddy. I thought he was really good as well. So I really liked their friendship as well. The directing to this movie. The director of this movie is Nicholas Stoller, and I thought he did a great job. He really did a great job with the movie. He portrayed everything really well. He knew that he wanted the movie to be funny. He knew he wanted to be serious. Because believe it or not, this movie actually is serious, which I like. It's not like This Is the End, which is a straightforward parody movie and is never serious. This movie actually has heart, and I like that about the movie a lot. I thought that was well done. So yeah, Nicholas Stoller I thought was fantastic. He did a really great job. The editing. I really want to talk about the editing of this movie. Great editing. There are so many comedies I see nowadays. 99% of the comedy movies I see nowadays, I say they could have taken about a third out of this movie. This movie's really short, and I like that it was really short because they knew that they didn't want to drag on this movie. They knew they didn't want this movie to drag on and not be as funny as it was. But this movie ended up being really funny because it was the length it was. 22 Jump Street had to be long. This movie had to be short. It just was. And I was glad that it was short because I thought it was really good that the movie wasn't that long. And I thought it made the movie actually a lot funnier that it wasn't that long. So, now let's get to some spoilers for Neighbors. Not really much to talk about here, but there is one thing I want to talk about that I thought was really interesting. A couple funny scenes I really want to talk about as well. But one thing in particular with Efron's character that I don't want to spoil for you guys. So, first thing I want to talk about, of course, is how serious the movie ended up getting. I did not expect the movie to get as serious in the second half as it did. A lot like 22 Jump Street. I like that these comedies are taking a more serious approach because not only does it get you to care about the characters more, but it makes the movie, more interesting. I sit there, and even though I want to laugh while I'm watching a comedy, I want it to have a good story. I want it to have some development for these characters. I want to care about these characters so I can see their common goal. Even though it's just a fun movie, Neighbors is a fun movie, but every movie, in my opinion, has to have that heart, and this movie really does. And especially that scene where Efron and, Teddy and Dave Franco's character, I don't remember his name, but they're talking and everything, and he says to, Teddy how you are, the only reason you're so upset at the neighbors is because you are afraid you're going to become like them. And I thought that was really interesting that he's worried about that because it kind of makes sense because at first he's actually really good friends with them and then all of a sudden he gets really upset about them because he's worried he's going to become like them. And I think that's a really interesting twist in my opinion, and I really like that twist. I thought that was really well done. and I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was just really interesting. I did not expect the movie to take as dramatic as approach as it did, and it's kind of deep for a movie like this, definitely. I thought that was good, and I liked that it did that. I thought that was really cool, because it made me think, he's really the best character in this movie, because he thinks that all this stuff really matters, when in reality, this stuff does not matter to him. This is just the person that he, thinks he wants to be. That's who he is. He thinks he wants to be this person, but he really isn't that kind of person. He's more like, he is in many ways a lot more like, Mac or Kelly. He wants to be like them, but in many ways he's not. So I thought his character is definitely really interesting, in my opinion, with that. The funniest scene in the movie, in my opinion, is that scene where Kelly has that, alcohol in her tits. That was just hilarious to watch. Mac get the alcohol there, and she's like, milk me. That scene was so funny. And I like the way the movie ended overall. I thought that was good as well. I like the way it ended. And not much else to really say about the movie. I thought that was really funny. The pranks were so hilariously done, especially in the seats, the inflatable seat or whatever you call it. Not the inflatable seat, but the thing that made Seth Rogen fall off the seat. Every time it happened, I laughed. There are many times when if you do a scene more than once, it gets a little, it gets gimmicky and not as funny. That had me laughing every single time. So, great job there. That was great. So, that had me laughing every single time. I thought that was hilarious. The Robert De Niro scene. It's in the trailer, but it's probably one of the funniest scenes in this movie by far. It's one of the most memorable parts about this movie. I love the part of the Robert De Niro party. Hilarious scene. And, I think that's pretty much all I really have to say about Neighbors, guys. Honestly, Neighbors, there's not really much to say about it. It's a comedy. There's not too much to say about Neighbors. But overall, I really enjoyed Neighbors. Thought it was really good. Oh, also, stick for the credits. When you're watching the movie and you buy it, stick around for the credits. There's something really funny with the baby. I don't want to spoil it, but it's definitely really funny. But that's it for my review of Neighbors. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. Overall, Neighbors I thought was a really fun comedy. Now, Neighbors is a movie that I think everyone would really enjoy. This is the ends more of guy humor. Neighbors is for everyone, okay? Neighbors is not a movie that I feel no one would like. I feel everyone would really like this movie, and everyone should really enjoy this movie, because it's just a really fun movie, in my opinion. I personally really enjoyed it. By far the second best comedy of the year, and just a lot of fun. Really, just a lot of fun, and I really loved Neighbors. That's basically for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the series premiere of Homeland, which I can't wait for. Not series premiere. Season premiere of Homeland. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.